So what are real numbers? Real numbers are simply the combination of rational and irrational numbers in the number system. So the keyword, when we say real numbers, our keyword will be rational and irrational. Okay, real numbers can be illustrated through Venn diagram, tree diagram, and number line. So we will start subsets of real numbers using Venn diagram. Okay, so there are two subsets of real numbers. We have rational number and we have irrational number. So when we say rational number, it is a number that can be expressed as a ratio between two integers, just like a over b, where a or where b is not equal to 0. And irrational number, this one, is an opposite of rational number because it cannot be expressed as a ratio between two integers. So let us focus on the rational numbers. Rational numbers compose of two subsets. First one is integer, and we have non-integer. So in our previous lesson, when we say integer, it is a combination among negative numbers, whole numbers just like 0, and natural numbers or what we call counting numbers. Okay? So when we say integers, it composed of negative numbers just like -1, -2, -3, and so on. We have also in between of negative and positive numbers, we have 0, and we have positive numbers which are natural number or counting number just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and other examples of counting numbers. Take note that whole number consists of 0 and positive numbers or counting numbers. Okay, so what's the difference between whole number from counting numbers? Whole number contain 0, but in counting numbers do not have 0. So yun lang yung pagkakaiba nilang dalawa. Yung natural number, you will start counting by 1, 2, 3, ganun siya. Pero sa whole number, kapag i-identify mo yung mga whole number, you will begin on 0, 1, 2, 3, and many more. So yun yung tinatawag nating integers. A positive integer, a negative integer, and 0. So how about non-integers? It consists of three kinds or three subsets. We have percent. Example, 10%, 20%, 50%, 100%, and other examples of percent. Next, we have also fractions. Okay, fractions. So when we say fractions, it is a ratio between two numbers where the first number, just like a over b, wherein a is the numerator and b is the denominator. So if the fraction is proper fraction, it means to say that the numerator is smaller than denominator. Improper fraction, the numerator is greater than denominator. And if you will simplify improper fraction, it becomes a mixed number. It is a combination between a whole and a proper fraction. Let's say 5 over 4. If you will simplify that, it becomes 1 and 1/4. So those are examples of fractions. Another one is decimal. Okay, it consists of repeating and non-terminating decimal. Repeating. So when we say repeating, recurring decimal. Non-terminating, unendless, okay? Infinite number of decimal, okay? So when I say repeating and non-terminating decimal, just like 0.33333. So the repeated number is 3 and we have an endless 3. Hindi siya nagtatapos. Sunod-sunod yan na 3. And I will give you some hint to make or to simplify repeating decimal para hindi ka na mag-consume ng maraming 3. Meron tayong parang tip para ma-lessen mo yung repetition of numbers. And we have also terminating decimal. Decimal that contains a finite number of digits after the decimal point, just like 0.5, 0.6, 0.8. Okay, so meron siyang ending because of the word finite number. So in repeating and non-terminating, infinite number. Okay? Next, let's move on to irrational numbers. It consists of two. One is non-repeating and non-terminating decimals. Okay, ano naman ang ibig sabihin niyan? Decimal number that continuously, endlessly, with no group of digits repeating endlessly. Kagaya halimbawa na, mamaya magbibigay ako ng halimbawa ng non-repeating, hindi siya nauulit-ulit, and at the same time, wala siyang katapusan. Okay? Next, we have radicals that are not perfect and root. If you still remember our previous lesson about rational numbers that are radicals, example is square root of 4. That is irrational because the principal root is exactly 2. But if the principal root is not an exact, there is a remainder, just like square root of 5, then that is what we call irrational number. Kung yung radical ng radicals na yan ay hindi siya perfect square, then it is what we call irrational number. It is just like square root of 15. That is more than 3, right? Okay. Square root of 16, exactly 4. So that is rational. Meaning to say, there are some radicals that are examples of rationals, but there are also radicals that are irrational. So ang tingnan lang ninyo is the radical. Is it a perfect square? If it is a perfect square, then it falls under rational. If it is not a perfect square, it falls under irrational number. I hope nakakasunod kayo. And this is another way on how to illustrate subsets of real numbers. Ang tawag dito ay tree diagram. Okay? So lahat ng mga pinag-aralan ninyo sa previous slide, parang ganyan din siya, pero nagawa lamang siya in a form of tree diagram. So still, meron tayong rational, irrational, walang na iba sa mga contents niya o kaya subsets niya. Non-integers, fractions, percent, decimal, and so on. Okay. So I will give an example of repeating and non-terminating decimal. Okay. Repeating and non-terminating. We have fractional form, 1/3. How are we going to make this or translate or express this in decimal form? So that will be numerator divided by denominator. So that is 1 divided by 3. And the answer is 0.3333. Nakita ninyo yung tatlong dot? It denotes that the decimal is what? Has still other numbers, but it is always 3. Repeating nga, inaulit-ulit yung 3. And to make it short, let us make use of the symbol for venculum. So 0.3 and then lagyan mo siya ng bar doon sa taas ng 3 to denote that the next succeeding numbers are 3. So yan yung shortcut niya. So, lagyan natin siya ng venculum. Another one is 4 over 9. What is the decimal form of 4 over 9? We have 0.4444 and so on. To make it short, you write 0.4, but do not forget to put a venculum. Yan. Another one is 2 over 11. That is in the decimal form of 0.1818. There are two repeating numbers. We have 1/8. And to make it short, you can have 0.18 with a venculum above 1 and 8. So, ganun lamang. Yan yung halimbawa ng repeating, non-terminating. Ano ang naulit na number? 3, 4, 18. Non-terminating. Bakit tinawag na non-terminating? Because we have an endless. Okay? Endless siya. Infinite. Hindi mo masabi kung hanggang saan magtatapos dahil wala siyang katapusan. Infinite means endless. Next, terminating decimal. Kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, meron siyang hangganan. The remainder, if you will divide the numerator and denominator, the remainder becomes 0. Just like 5 over 4. Right? 5 divided by 1 and 25 hundredths or 1.25. So, nag-end siya doon sa 5 dahil ang naging remainder na niya sa baba is 0. Next, we have 2 over 5. 2 divided by 5 is 0. Okay? 2 minus 0 is 2. Bring down 0. 20 divided by 5 is 4. That's why we have 0.4. And we have 6 over 8. 6 divided by 8 is 0. 6 minus 0 is 6. Bring down 0. 60 divided by 8 is 7. 7 times 8 is 56. So, 4 ang ano niya. And then bring down, ganun siya, 0.75 to make it short. Okay? Next, how about example of non-repeating, non-terminating decimals? Just like 1 over 14. Okay, so pag titingnan mo yung ating result in decimal form, 0.071428 ... Meaning to say, meron pa siyang succeeding numbers pero hindi siya naulit. Okay? Another one is, okay, the most popular example of non-repeating and non-terminating decimal is the value of pi, 3.1415926 and so on. Pi is very popular in the topic of what lesson is that? Circle. Diba? Getting the perimeter of a circle, 2 pi r. Getting the square of a circle, pi r squared. Ganon. So, yun yung importance ng pi pagdating sa circle. Next. Number line. Another way of illustrating subsets of real number is a number line. As we all know that a number line extended on both directions as illustrated by arrowheads and is used to represent the set of real numbers. On the real number line, there is a point for every real number and there is a real number for every point. And this number line is very useful in arranging real numbers from in increasing or decreasing order. Okay, so this is a number line. Okay, and we have here the label. So, at the center, we have 0. 0 is a rational number. That is an integer, right? Usually kasi doon sa previous lesson natin, doon sa number line, ang nire-represent lang niya doon sa lesson natin is what? The compositions of integers. We have the negative numbers, 0, positive numbers. But in our new lesson, real number system, nandito lahat yung mga, makikita mo lahat dito yung tinatawag na rational numbers and irrational numbers. Okay. So doon tayo sa tinatawag na arranging real numbers in ascending and descending order. Okay? So, pag titingnan ninyo yung number line natin, the center is 0, on its rights are positive. On its right are positive numbers. And it is greater than numbers on the left of 0. Positive numbers are greater than negative numbers. Okay? Next, if you will compare positive numbers just like 2 and 10, syempre alam na natin yan kahit hindi natin tingnan doon sa number line. Alam natin na 10 is always greater than 2. 8 is always greater than 3. Right? But in terms of negative numbers, do not confuse about this because positive numbers, the opposite are negative numbers. If you will try to compare negative 1 and negative 10, which one is greater? Okay, so we have negative 1 is greater than negative 10. Always bear in mind that the number which is near to 0 is always greater than number far from 0 in terms of negative numbers. Okay? Yan. So, dito ang reference point natin sa 0. Yung number na mas malapit sa 0 gives greater value kesa doon sa number na mas malayo sa 0. Or to make it short, yung number na nasa kanan ng isang number gives greater value. Okay, let's say, negative 6 and negative 1. Sa negative 6 at saka negative 1, nasang banda dito yung nasa kanan? Okay, negative 1. Negative 1 is on the right. Therefore, negative 1 is greater than negative 6. So, titingnan mo lang yung right and left. The number which is on the right is always greater than the number on the left. Just like 7 and 3. Which one is on the right? 7. Therefore, 7 is greater than 3. Ganon. So, that's one way on how to arrange numbers in increasing or in decreasing order. So, titingnan ninyo which one is on the right, which one is on the left, so that you can determine on how to, or you can determine increasing or decreasing order. Okay, so mamaya ituturo ko pa sa inyo kung paano. Okay, ordering real numbers. Order, yung pagkasunod-sunod. When comparing real numbers on a number line, the larger number will always lie to the right of the smaller one. A larger number. Okay, larger number will always lie to the right. So tama yung sinabi ko, yung larger number daw ay laging nandun sa kanan. Let's say 8. At saka yung negative 3. Yung 8 ang siyang nasa kanan, therefore, it is a larger number than negative 3. So, ganun siya pag mag-order using the number line. Okay, next. Ascending. There are two ways on how to arrange real numbers. Pwedeng ascending, pwedeng descending. Pero ano yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa? Ascending means increasing order. Numbers are said to be ascending order when they are arranged from the smallest to the largest number. Let's say if you will arrange 3, 5, 1 using ascending order. So, mauna muna yung 1, 3, and then 5. Tama? So, that is ascending from smallest to largest. 1, 3, 5. Pero, kapag i-arrange mo naman siya using descending order, okay? Descending order. Numbers are said to be in descending order when They are arranged from largest to the smallest number. Let's say, kagaya ng halimbawa na example natin kanina, 1, 3, 5, that is ascending. Paano natin siyang gagawing descending? That is decreasing order. 5, 3, 1. So, yun yon. So, do not confuse about the two terms in ordering real numbers. Ascending means increasing. Smallest to largest number. Decreasing means as descending, arrange from largest to smallest number. Okay. So, yun ang gagamitin natin mamaya doon sa next succeeding slides natin doon sa activity sheets. Okay. Sometimes, we make use of symbols to help us efficiently communicate relationships between numbers on the number line. So these symbols are used to compare numbers such as less than. Alam natin kung kailan ginagamit ang less than. If the first number is smaller than the second number. Let's say, if we will try to compare the relationship between 5 and 8, 5 is less than 8. Ganon. So, gagamitin mo yung symbol na ito kung yung first number, real number, is smaller than the second real number. And its opposite is greater than. Let's say the relationship between 8 and 5. 8 is greater than 5. Ibig sabihin, yung 8 ay mas malaki sa 5, denoting its value. Okay? Next, less than or equal to. Let's say our real number is 5. What are the numbers less than or equal to 5? Equal to 5 means you will start on 5. Less than 5 means 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, and so on. So, if we will make use of this symbol, let's say 5, you will start on 5, 4, and so on. Okay, and its opposite is greater than or equal to. So let's say 5. What are the numbers equal to 5? Of course, 5. And what are the numbers greater than 5? 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and many more. So yan yung pwede ninyong gamitin in order to give the relationship between two numbers or two real numbers. Okay? Less than, greater than, at least, and at most. Nasaan dito yung symbol ng at least? Ito, greater than or equal to. Ito naman yung symbol ng at most, less than or equal to. Yan. So, let us go back to number line. Okay, let's say if we have 15 over 3. Where is the location of 15 over 3? So it is helpful if you will simplify 15 over 3 by having 15 divided by 3, and that gives 5. Yon. Yan, so that is 5. Yon. So ang label niya is 15 over 3. Another one, 8 over 3. So, we have 8. It is better for us to, if the given real numbers are fraction, it is better for us to change that into a decimal form for us to identify at once the location of that given real number or fraction. 8 over 3, that is what? In decimal form, that is repeating decimal. That is 2.66 with a venculum. Yan. 2.666 means that is in between of 2 and 3. Okay, take note that if you will order these numbers, syempre, Halimbawa, 0. Sa increasing order, kung ang given natin ay 0. Next, we have 8 over 3 and 15 over 3. Ganyan yung kanyang arrangement. Di ba? Kapag isulat mo siya into an decreasing or increasing order, syempre mauna si 0 and then 8 over 3, 15 over 3. Ganon. Kaya ako pinapakita sa inyo yung number line para makita ninyo na kung paano ka mag-order or mag-arrange in increasing or decreasing. Unahin mo kapag increasing, unahin mo yung mga numbers na sa left, dito sa number line. Ganyan. Okay, kapag decreasing naman, syempre mag-start ka sa right, going to the left. Yan, nandyan yung 8 over 3 or what we call 2.66 repeating decimal. Another one is square root of 15. Square root of 15 in decimal form is non-terminating, non-repeating decimal because it is equal to, okay, in your scratch paper, the answer will be 3.8729 and so on. And that is in between of 3 and 4. Yan. Almost 4, di ba? Mas malapit siya sa 4. Ibig sabihin, that is more than 3.5. Square root of 15. Next, we have square root of 25. 25 is a perfect square. And that is in the principal root of 5. So, katabi niya dito, kasama niya dito si 15 over 3. So, you can give the relationship between 15 over 3 and square root of 5. Square root of 25, that is 5. So, ang relationship nila is equal. 15 over 3 is equal to square root of 25. Another one, negative 4.5. Okay, so let's move on to the negative numbers. It is in between of 4 and negative 4 and negative 5. There you are. That is negative 4.5. And last one is 25%. 25% is what? You can translate that into a fractional form just like 25 over 100 because the symbol percent is 1 over 100. 25 over 100 or that is 0.25 and that is less than 0. So nandun siya sa left ng 0. Nandun siya sa right ng 0. Okay? So that is 25% or 0.25. Next, in your activity sheets, so week 1 natin, part 1. Okay, we have activity 1, matching type. Direction, match column A to column B. Answers may be repeated. Okay, so we have here description in what? Letter A. Counting numbers without 0. So, balikan ninyo yung previous slide na tinuro ko sa inyo para masagot mo yung activity number 1. But, okay, so let's have a recall. When I say integers, it composed of what? Negative numbers, 0, and whole numbers. What are those whole numbers or counting numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay? Natural numbers is what we call counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dito sa integers, meron siyang negative, meron siyang positive, meron siyang 0. Okay? Which one has larger component? Is it integer or natural number? Integer. Kasi ang natural number is a subset of integer. Nandoon siya sa umbrella ng integer. Okay? It is within the integer. Natural number. Next, rational number. Ano-ano naman yung nilalaman ng rational number? We have positive integers, negative integers. Di ba? Positive integers, we have non-negative integers, okay? Integers, just like positive integers, negative integers, 0, okay? And then we have also non-integers, just like percent, decimal, fraction. So yan yung rational number. Malaki ang sakop ng rational number. Next, real numbers. Ano naman yung real numbers? Siyempre, lahat-lahat na nang nandoon sa loob ng rational number and irrational number. Diba? Combination between rational and irrational number. Okay, so let us take the relationship between letter B and letter E. Pag whole number, kasama ang 0, and all counting numbers. Okay? Dito sa natural number, only the counting numbers are present. But in the whole numbers, you are going to include 0. O, ano naman yung irrational numbers natin kanina? We have non-repeating, non-terminating decimals, and radicals that are not a perfect nth root. Okay? So, ang makikita ko lang doon sa inyong answer sheets will be, of course, your final answer in activity number 1, 1 to 10. Okay, ulitin natin ha. Answers may be repeated. Okay, sometimes yung letter C, pwede siyang maulit dito. Depende sa description, okay? Depende siya sa description doon sa letter or column A. Next, activity number 2, determining subsets. Direction. Determine the subset of real numbers to which each number so, put a check mark to answer. Number 1. Okay, so I will leave example in number 1, 86. 86. Negative 86 is not a whole number, right? So, do not put a check mark below whole number. So, ito, blanco ito. And then, negative 86 is an integer, right? So, i-check mo yung integer. And, of course, if it is an integer, automatically siya ay rational. Kung rational siya, huwag mo nang i-check yung irrational. Okay? So, please go over to our previous slides para masagutan ninyo ng tama ang activity number 2. Activity number 3. Fact or a bluff. It is just like true or false. But your answer should be fact, F-A-C-T, and bluff, B-L-U-F-F. So, kailan natin sasagutin yung statement ng fact? If the statement is true. And if the statement is false, you're going to write the word bluff. So, that's number 1 to number 10. Next. In our week number 8, part 2. Okay, try this. Nandito na yung tinatawag na ascending order or descending order. So what are you going to do? Determine whether the following real numbers are arranged in ascending. Ano yung ascending na sinabi ko kanina sa inyo? Ascending is an arrangement where it will start on the smallest value to the highest value. Di ba? From smallest number to the largest number. That is ascending order. So if the given number is arranged in ascending order, you are going to write AO on the blank, okay, on the space provided. And then descending order. So what kind of arrangement is descending order? So the first real number should be the largest number until the least or the smallest number. So ascending order is an order wherein it is arranged from highest real number to the lowest real number. So ano isasagot lang natin dito sa activity number 1? AO or DO. Okay? Gaya ng sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, Kung yung mga given real numbers natin ay magkakaibang klase, kagaya dito sa number 2, may radical, may pi, may decimal. It is better for you to express the given numbers into a decimal form. Mas madali lang siyang mas madali lamang siyang iayos into ascending or descending order. Malalaman mo agad kung ano ang maliit, ano ang malaki, mas malaki, pinaka malaking real number. Next, in our activity number 2, arranging real number. Okay, so dito sa cloud, direction muna tayo. Arrange the following real numbers in given order. Okay, let's say number 1, you are going to arrange negative 1/4, negative 1.25, negative 5/3 in descending order. So, ano ilalagay natin dito sa cloud? Siyempre, laging mauna yung highest, pag descending highest number, and then, ang pinakahuli is the smallest number. Ganon, pag descending. Dito naman, ascending order. What is the square root of 9? That is a perfect square. So we have 3. What is pi? 3.14159 and so on. And we have 10. And then you arrange that in ascending order. Smallest to the largest number. And number 3, number 4, number 5. Okay? So makikita ko dito sa doon sa magiging papel, doon sa papel ninyo, yung pagsusulatan ninyo ng sagot, dapat kung ano yung given na order, yun ang susundan mo. Number 1, descending. Okay? Anong susundan mo? From what? Highest to smallest. Pag ascending naman, from smallest to highest. And let's have the last activity. Crack the code on the number line. Okay, direction. Draw a number line and plot the following to crack the code. So, meron tayong code dito. An American photo and video sharing social networking service. Okay? So, anong gagawin ninyo dito? Gumawa lang kayo ng isang number line. And then, ilulocate ninyo kung nasaan ang mga real number na ito. Okay, halimbawa, square root of 25. That is 5, right? So, gumawa ka muna ng number line dito with the given coordinates, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sa kanan, and then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. And then, ilocate mo yung square root of 25. Kapag nalocate mo na, ang label niya should be A, point R, point G, point T, para makakabuo ka dito ng phrase na kung saan yun yung magiging sagot dito sa ating An American Photo and Video Sharing Social Networking Service. Okay, so makakabuo ka dito ng phrase. Okay, so ganun lang yung week number 8. Okay, so we have 6 activities to be answered. Okay, so wala nang problema. So thank you for listening and have a nice day. Goodbye.